It's another Friday night, and just some of the best TV programming you see throughout the entire week always happens on SmackDown. And it's over with, and that means BroDown begins right now. I'm Mac Davis, your host, and of course, with me, none other than the most hated man in professional wrestling. And he's a former WCW heavyweight champion, Mr. Vince Russo. Hey, Vince.
What is going on, Mad Mac? And listen, Mad Mac.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. What were you going to say? I don't want to interrupt the great man.
But I was just going to say, man, I hope everything goes well tonight, because I am in a hotel on the road this week. So hopefully the connection will stay with us as best as possible. What were you about to say?
Today is going to be a little different kind of show.
Okay, good.
Because today you and I, or at least me, I am going to put it all out there. Because, bro, like, I got to be honest, I believe there's a God above, and I'll tell you why, Mac.
Why is that?
You and I were both notified this week that Sportskeeda is discontinuing their sports binge channel.
Correct.
Okay, for business reasons, whatever. You know, it's not they're getting rid of me and Mac. They're shutting down the channel. And you know what, man? Listen, I don't know Sportskeeda's business. All I know is I've been working for them for many, many years. They've always been very good to me. I have no problem. I have nothing bad to say about them. But, you know, like, I understand business is business. So whatever is going on their end, they've made the decision to shut down the Wrestle Binge Challenge. And I got to tell you, Mac, for me, it has come at a great time, because, Mac, I've got to be totally honest with myself. And I put a tweet out before I came on here, and I've got to be honest and I've got to be transparent. We come on here every single week and we review these shows, and it is absolute torture for me. I hate these shows. I hate feeling like I literally am wasting hours in my life watching these shows. And the reality of the situation is, this was only going to go to January 24th anyway. I had already told Sportskeeda, come when on my 65th birthday, I am not wasting another second watching this horrible crap. It is crap. It is shit. You guys want to know, you guys want to know, you want to understand how it's crap and it's shit. I'll tell you. You got Netflix, bro. You probably got Netflix because you're probably paying to watch Raw. Good. You got Netflix, bro. Beautiful. Watch an episode of Raw, and as soon as Raw is over, put on an episode of Breaking Bad. Okay? How about that? And you will see how absolutely pathetic this show is, and how absolutely horrific this show is, and childish and stupid and boring and nonsense. And I can go on and on and on and on. And Mac, I was getting to the point of, I try to do these shows, but the reality of the situation is, there is nothing this company can do at this point to ever get me back. You could throw 7 fireballs in Damian Priest's face. I don't give a shit. You lost me a long time ago with your stupid, nonsensical, childish, doesn't make sense wrestling booking. You lost me years and years and years ago. Well, Vince, what are you talking about? Well, let's use tonight's show, for example. So now the Samoans are clown Samoans, and they put on clown makeup, and now this is what I'm talking about. Triple H is clueless. Paul Heyman is clueless. Michael Hayes is clueless. Bruce Pritchard is clueless. Brian James is clueless. They're a bunch of idiots. This show sucks. They have killed the wrestling business. Last week, Mac, Mac, I used to say this all along. I've been saying this for literally years. I keep asking myself, bro, when is the coming to Jesus moment? When is the coming to Jesus moment? And I would say to myself, Mac, maybe the coming to Jesus moment is when they go under 1 million viewers. Now, well, Mac, hold on. I want to be honest.
Yep.
When I was saying that, I never thought that would happen. Mac, you are talking about the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars. You are talking about, I'll never forget, it was a Tuesday after Raw. I'm sitting there having a conversation with Vince McMahon, me and Vince. Kevin Dunn walks into the conversation with a dumbfounded look on his face. And Kevin Dunn's exact words were, and Kevin Dunn, bro, for you guys that don't know Kevin Dunn worked for Vince for 30 years. Kevin Dunn's father worked for Vince before Kevin. And with a dumbfounded look on his face, Kevin looked at me and Vince and said, this is Tuesday. I never thought in my wildest dreams professional wrestling would do 10 million viewers on a Monday night. The combination of Raw and Nitro did over 10 million viewers. This show can very well be under 1 million. Now, let's really talk about that. Screw this show. Mac, listen. Mac, these are my notes for the show. Like, literally, I will take this right now and wipe my ass with it. These are my notes to the show. Let's really break this down. Yep. Because, Mac, you know what? You know how Al Snow describes it this way all the time. This is how Al breaks it down. Nobody else ever breaks it down this way. Mac, when I was a kid, I was a fan of two things. I was a fan of professional wrestling, and I was a fan of roller derby. Okay? In New York, in roller derby, we had the New York Chiefs. Roller derby used to be on WOR Channel 9, just like wrestling. The WWF was on, and roller derby was on. And I dragged my father to bring me to see roller derby. I saw roller derby live. And roller derby was a work like wrestling. Yep. You know, they had a curved track, and they had an infield, and they had heel managers and heel players and baby faces, and all kinds of chaos would take place on the infield. People would hit each other with chairs. Fights would break out. Roller derby was over huge. Then all of a sudden, what happened? They changed roller derby. All of a sudden, Mac, it's not an oval, up and down track. It's a flat track all of a sudden. And all of a sudden, you're watching this, and it became a real competition. And people like me were watching this saying, wait a minute, where's roller derby? This ain't roller derby. No, where's roller derby? And guess what? Roller derby went out of business. Yep. Here we are with professional wrestling. The same exact thing. Professional wrestling was storylines and outrageous characters. That's what professional wrestling was. Well, we've now eliminated that, and that no longer exists. So now it's about wrestling matches where they're doing Circus Soleil. Well, okay, guys, in the last 25 years, we've gone from 10 million people to what tonight can be under 1 million. I want you guys to do something for me, because here's what you're going to say. Vince, 25 years. a lot has changed. We got social media, we got YouTube, we got StreamYard, we got streaming. Yeah. Okay, bro, go look up the NFL and tell me if the NFL has lost 10 million viewers in the last 25 years. Go look at the NFL numbers from 10 years ago. They're playing under the same rules. Yep. There's streaming services. There's YouTube. It's the same playing field. Ask me if the NFL has lost 10 million viewers. They haven't. You know why? Because the game is the same. Yeah, bro, they'll change where they move the kickoff, Mac. They'll do little tweaks here and there. But here's what they don't do. They don't change the foundation of the game. Roller derby changed the very foundation of roller derby. They went out of business. Professional wrestling has changed the very foundation of what professional wrestling was. Yes, you are going to have your niche audience. No, everything's got a freaking niche audience. Brother, ICP's got a niche audience. MLW's got a niche audience.
AEW.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, that niche audience is always going to be there.
Yep. Guys,
we're talking about 10 million people used to watch this on one night. 10 million people. And that's why, Mac, it's like I kept doing this show week after week after week, and I'm like, there's nothing they can do to turn me around. They lost me a long time ago. There's nothing this company can possibly do to ever make me care about their product again. And that's why with Sports Key, the timing is perfect. The timing is perfect. They literally say me, and Mac, I only got 2 shows left because I'm not going to be here on the 31st. So I got 2 shows left. And I think I got 2 Raws left as well because I don't think I'm going to be around the 27th or something. So I think I got 2 shows left of each. And then I'm going to do what everybody else does, and I'm going to do what you've been telling us to do. Don't watch 2 hours, 2.5 hours of this absolute shit.
Nope.
Just go watch the 8 minutes on YouTube and you'll pretty much get the gist of it. No problem. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yep.
And I swear to God, Mac, I look at guys like Triple H, I look at guys like Shawn Michaels, I look at guys like The Undertaker, all guys that I worked for. Brother, I don't give a shit how many fake titles you won between you, okay? They're not equipped to run a company. They're not qualified. Bro, I swear to God, you could say whatever you want about Vince McMahon. Here's what happened to Vince McMahon. Real simple, Mac. Vince got old. Vince got old. The older Vince got, the more out of touch he was.
Correct.
What's Triple H's excuse? What is why are you out of touch? Why don't you have a clue as to what good television is? Are you 80? Are you 80? At least Vince McMahon had an excuse, and we all knew. Vince is getting older and older, and the older he gets, the more out of touch he is. Why is Shawn Michaels out of touch? Why is Triple H out of touch? Why is Taker out of touch? No, bro, they're not out of touch. Here's the problem. They don't know television. They know nothing about television. They don't have a clue about television. Here's what they know about wrestling matches. And a very, very, very small audience, Mac, are into wrestling matches. I can't tell you how many times throughout my entire career, Vince, we watch the show every week, but we don't watch it for the wrestling. We watch it for the shit in between the wrestling. I can't tell you how many people told me that. Well, guess what, bro? You've eliminated the shit between the wrestling. You've eliminated the fights on the roller derby infield. Now you've changed the game. Now the majority of your fan base who tuned in for that are not getting that. So what did they do, bro? They opted out. They tapped out. And rather than, Mac, look ourselves in the mirror and say, How in God's name did we go from 10 million to 1 million people? And Mac, this is what you hear every week, every freaking week. It's what's on the other channels. Okay, bro, we were beating Monday Night Football. We were definitely beating the NBA and Major League Baseball. We were kicking their ass because the truest words that Vince McMahon ever said to me, Mac, was, Vince, I don't want to hear about the competition. I don't want to hear what's on the other channels. I could give a shit. Here's what he said, Mac. If it's good, they will watch it.
Yes.
Here, you didn't make excuses with Vince. Bro, if we had a shitty rating and a bad show, if I would have told Vince, oh yeah, Vince, but there was a playoff game, I would have been fired because I would have now been making excuses. And that's all this freaking company does is make excuses and excuses. And Mac, here's what you'll get. Oh, but they're making more money than they ever did before. Bro, that's got nothing to do with them putting on a shitty show.
I'm sorry. I was going to say that the problem with that process of thinking that, that the money's really good and the shows aren't, eventually, if the shows aren't good, the money's not going to be there in the future. It will dry up.
Exactly. Mac, real simple. We know what the New York Yankees payroll is. We know what their payroll is. We know how much money the New York Yankees make. One of the most lucrative sports franchises in the world, the coveted New York Yankees. The New York Yankees just got ousted from the playoffs. Do you think that's a win for the Yankee organization? You think they feel like winners because they're looking at, oh, well, we got eliminated from the playoffs, again for the 15th time in the last 15 years, but we made X amount of dollars this year. Bro, if that were the case, then they would never try to improve their team. Correct. Seriously, if they were selling the same merch and selling out and drawing the same people and they're making X amount of dollars, then how their team plays on the field would not matter to them. And here's going to be the difference, Mac. The offseason is going to come and heads are going to roll. I
was going to ask you that. If you're a coach of a baseball team that continues to lose game after game, no matter what kind of money you're making in the stands, it doesn't matter. Eventually, heads will roll.
Heads will roll. People will be fired. People will be held accountable.
Yes.
And then once those people are fired, now they go into the mode of how do we make this team better? What free agents do we have to sign? It's not about how much money they're bringing in. It's all about winning. That's the success in a franchise. Brother, when you possibly can do under 1 million viewers for this show tonight, that is not a win.
No.
You can convince yourself all the money the idiotic Saudis are giving you when you've got this number under 1 million and you're convincing yourself you're successful because USA Network gave us 1.6 billion and this one gave us one and that one, that has nothing to do with your product on the field sucking ass. And it has sucked ass forever. But here's the difference, Mac. Here's the difference. Aaron Boone's going to get fired. Period. End of story. He's gone. Is Triple H going to get fired if they go under 1 million viewers? Is Shawn Michaels going to get fired? Is Michael Hayes? Nope. Those guys will be doing this same job for the next 10 years. Go ahead, Mac. Take it away. I just got to.
No. I just wanted to say real quick.
I want to hear you talk, Mac. Go ahead.
I just want to say real quick that I did see this week that they're looking for new creative help in WWE. But here's the problem I have with that, Vince. If the heads don't roll at the top, like Triple H and the other guys you have mentioned, how does any of the new writers, creative coming in, have a chance? Because they got to fight those guys to be able to do anything. So if they're still there, we continue to get the same product no matter if you change your creative week after week. The people writing the stories doesn't matter because the people at the top are the ones causing the issues.
And Mac, that is the wrestling system. So, Mac, let me educate people listening to this show right now. Jeremy Borash is Triple H's right-hand man. You guys want to know how that happened? Let me explain to you how that happened. In 1999, when I went to WCW, I met Jeremy Borash. You know what Jeremy Borash was doing for WCW? He was doing their social media with Bob Ryder. I got to know Jeremy, and I saw the kid understands wrestling, and he's very smart, and he's very sharp. So what did I do, Mac? I invited him into creative meetings. Now Jeremy is sitting there creatively, and he's learning the process. I go to TV, I go to TNA, I bring Jeremy to TNA. Now Jeremy's got his little camera. He's filming everything. He's producing. He's throwing out ideas. He's being groomed, just like Vince McMahon groomed me. I got hired to write the magazine. And then little by little, I was doing this for Bruce Pritchard. I was doing this for Vince. And they were teaching me the system. You're going to bring in these yahoos from freaking college. They're going to be getting Michael Hayes' hats, and they're going to be getting Bruce Pritchard tacos, and they're going to be getting Triple H their Corvette. You think these people are ever going to have an opportunity? No, because professional wrestling is all about protecting your spot. So we're never going to bring in anybody who is a challenge to us.
Yeah, and Vince McMahon even had that issue, where, like you said, as he got a little bit older, he started getting a little bit out of touch when it came to what should be happening on the screen. And he would bring people in to try to help with the creative, but it was still Vince McMahon's vision that we kept seeing on screen, and he was out of touch. Triple H at this point, Bruce Pritchard, Michael Hayes, Road Dogg, and look, nothing against these guys, but the problem is this. Your ratings have gone down. Consistently, they have gone down. Your having a job goes against anything I ever learned in business. I've been in plenty of businesses where I have run companies, and I've gone in and I've had to get rid of people because they didn't perform. Because the bottom line was I had to have a successful company. And you can't have a successful company if your strongest person in the company with the most power is the weakest person in your company.
And Mac, when Vince knighted me head writer, Mac, I totally expected, without a shadow of the doubt, if I don't give you results, fire me.
Yes.
Fire me. If I don't deliver and I don't perform, I deserve to be fired. You are putting me in this spot to increase your ratings. If I don't increase your ratings, I expect you to fire me. These freaking numbers have been going down for years and years and years and years. There are no ramifications. Nobody is held responsible. I mean, my God, bro, what are they going to do? They're going to go down to AEW numbers and we're going to have the same people writing these shows?
Well, I mean, they're not that far behind when you really consider the looks of the two companies. I mean, the numbers that AEW is getting are between, 500,000 to 800,000, somewhere in there. It's not that far of a stretch. The thing, the WWE can dip their toes in that kind of water if they're not careful.
Yeah, absolutely, Mac. And I'm so sick of this archaic system. Nobody is held responsible. It's the same people in the same spots, no matter what they do. And like you said, Mac, no successful business runs their company. Bro, when I was a kid out of school, Mac, when I was a kid out of high school, out of college, my first job was with CBS Publishing. Okay, Mac, here's how it worked. I had all the colleges on Long Island, Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. I sold the professors the textbooks that they use for their classes.
Oh, cool.
Mac, at the beginning of every year, you're given a quota. Yeah. Vince, this year, you've got to bring in X amount of dollars. Guess what, Mac? You don't reach your quota, you're gone.
No.
We'll go on to the next guy and see. That's freaking business. You can't sit here since Triple H has been in that chair. You can't sit there and continue to see the ratings go like this, and nobody is held accountable. And I've never heard of that in any business, Mac.
That's because Triple H and WWE can write stories better than anybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's Breaking Bad. I watched.
We just don't get it.
Yeah, I'm going to watch Breaking Bad. I'm going to watch another episode tonight, and this episode of SmackDown will blow that away. No matter what they do, bro, it will blow it away.
I do want to say, when it comes to the show, one of the things that I have enjoyed about working for Sportskeeda over these last few years is I've got to work with a lot of people. Vince, you and I, we started clicking really well when this show kicked off, and it's something that, despite not having to watch the show anymore, I will miss doing our weekly chats. Although I got a feeling that somewhere down the line, you'll probably see Vince and I together again somewhere.
Yeah. And I got to say this about Sportskeeda too. And that's true, Mac. Listen, you are a friend. You are a friend. I don't care if we never do a show together. That's not going to end a friendship. You are a friend. I think very highly of you. So, going forward, I'm going to have your back. You're going to have my back. That's how friends are. But I got to give Sportskeeda credit for this too. And guys, I'm going to freaking tell you it the way it is. I could give a shit now. Yeah. But the great thing about Sportskeeda, Mac, was, listen, man, Sportskeeda wanted WWE on their talent. They wanted to get an interview with this guy and an interview with that guy. But never once did they tell us, don't say anything negative about don't say anything. Never one time. You know when I got a call, Mac? I'll tell you when I got a call, just so you people know out there why I can't stand the guy. Let's just be frank. There are very few people I dislike. He's one of them. You know how many times Paul Heyman contacted Sportskeeda threatening to sue them because of things that I said? And that's when Sportskeeda would call me. And I'm like, you guys are really going to listen to this big bad win? Like, he's going to sue me over what? Over having an opinion about him? That's what he's going to sue me over? Bro, 3 times the guy called. I don't know if it was Paul or his lawyer, but he was threatening to sue them for things I said on the show.
How pitiful is that? That exactly. He is so concerned about Vince Russo doing a show on Sportskeeda that you got to shut up. Don't say that.
Mac, how many lawsuits do you think I would have been involved in the last 25 years if I sued everybody that said something negative about? How many lawsuits would be out there right now? 100?
You'd have a couple hundred of them just this month, probably.
Right. But that's why I always respected Sportskeeda. But it's funny because they would get a call from a lawyer and they would get all nervous. Oh, we're going to get sued. I'm like, guys, he can't sue you over nothing. I'm giving an opinion. This is the United States of America. I have the freedom of speech. But aside from that, Mac, they never tried to censor us. You can't say this, you can't say that, and they let us go. And Mac, we've been kind of brutally freaking honest.
Yep. We have, and I've used even language-wise with Sportskeeda. There are times when I got a potty mouth from time to time, and I'll say certain words that I probably shouldn't say. I've never been called down for that. Now, I know other shows try to avoid it. I just give you the real raw me. What you get out of my mouth is exactly what you would get if you were sitting at my dinner table. So I've always appreciated that when it came to Sportskeeda, because they, like you say, they never tried to tell me what I had to do. They just said, it's you and Vince, open the mic and go. And that was it.
That was it. Yeah.
We got some folks in here. We got a lot of folks, as a matter of fact, dropping in with these super chats. Traffic Jam, Chelsea Green, and Solo were the stars of the night. I wasn't even that impressed with Chelsea Green tonight, if you want to know the truth of the matter. I thought her segment was kind of forgetful.
Well, I mean, why was Solo the star? Did he say anything? He just showed up.
Yeah, he just kind of showed up and then he mouthed off to what's the girl's name that's in the Wyatt Six? I can't even remember what her name is.
Nikki Cross. And where's Howdy?
I wrote that note down. Where is Uncle Howdy? They had the chair out there. It's empty. And they're all there, like 4 of them, I believe. So we're missing 2 people in the Wyatt Six, if there's 6 of them. But Uncle Howdy is just non-existent in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Wow.
That's after we got Bo Dallas. Remember, before Uncle Howdy disappeared, Uncle Howdy disappeared and Bo Dallas came out.
Right.
And then we never saw Uncle Howdy again. And now
Right.
Uncle Howdy seems to have, I don't know, he's in witness protection, I guess. Something's happened to him. So.
I guess.
David Duffett saying the Giants are the only hope for New York fans like Obi-Wan.
Big win yesterday for the New York Giants over the Eagles. Big win yesterday for the
Go Braves.
Oh, my God. Go Braves. Yes.
David Duffett also saying, go Jays, go.
Yes. Yes.
Traffic jam. Mac and Vince is more entertaining than WWE. Facts. Look, I'm not going to say that's not true. I could watch this show and be more entertained. And I'm not saying that because we're on the show, but I mean, the honesty is that the show SmackDown is extremely boring to me. Just like you, it is a chore to sit down for 2 hours and watch this show and try to come up with something to say and talk about. But there's not. Even the way they started tonight's show, Vince, they opened up with a great video package of them arriving in Perth. I thought that was well done. It was different and very good. But they went to Cody Rhodes right after that. Why didn't you take that video package and have a car as well pulling into the arena from all of that showed Cody walking from that limo out to the ring? Give it a little more punch. It's little things like that make a difference in a show. But Cody's way that started the show, his promo, Vince, I thought was really weak.
Mac, I fast forwarded through the entire promo. What is Cody Rhodes possibly going to say that's new? He's not going to say anything that's new. He's eating time, guys. That's all it is. They've got the show segmented. Okay, bro, segment 1, Cody Rhodes in ring, 20 minutes. All he's going to do is go out there and eat 20 minutes of this show. He is not going to say anything that we did not already hear. He is not going to add to the story. He is not going to tell another chapter of the story. He is not going to bring the story to another level. I did not listen to one word on the promo because I started watching the show an hour later and Cody came on and I already know. They've trained me to know he's going to say nothing. Nothing's going to happen. The fans are going to sing. They've trained me. So you know what? I'm going to hold fast forward down on my remote control until we get through this segment. And that's exactly what I did.
And it was not a good promo. I'll tell you that right now. You didn't miss anything. He just talked about Seth and, Seth is having problems. You know, he's not sure of himself. I don't know why he's got such an issue, blah, 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 blah. Seth didn't even come out during the segment. Right. I contend the WWE is still doing segment producing. It's just a segment. You don't get it to go from one segment to another. You get one single segment that has something in it, and then they move on to the next thing. Yeah. There is no reason to watch the show from beginning to end because you don't know what's going to happen at the end of the show. And you really don't give a shit by the first 15, 20 minutes. If they haven't already hooked you, you're not going to go there.
And what Mac is saying is coming by weeks and months and years of the same shit. Yep. We know what to expect. Listen, guys, if the same people are writing the show, nothing's going to change. You're going to get the same shit. So, Mac's feeling and opinion, my feeling and opinion, Mac, that's come through years and years and years of them programming us. Bro, perfect example. I'll say it again. I think it's Jim Gilligan. I think Jim's his first name, whatever. But the guy who created Breaking Bad. Okay, the guy created an unbelievable show. My son called me the other day. Oh, bro, did you see Gilligan, is producing a new show? So he's looking for that writer's new work because this show was so good. So now this show is so good. Now we want to see other things he's done. They've done the opposite. They've given us years and years and years and years of shitty television that now we know. Cody Rhodes is going to go out for a 30-minute in-ring, and nothing's going to happen. You've programmed us that way. I lost your audio, Mac. Is this Mac's first day? Is this Mac's first rodeo? There he is, Mr. Radio. Mr. Radio is
I don't know what's happening, man. This internet, I'm surprised we got this far. I just, when it comes to the product, Vince, I go back to, and I know there's a lot of people who may be watching right now that were not around during the Attitude Era. But if you were a wrestling fan during the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression era, you know how good wrestling can be. Yes. This has not been the case with SmackDown since we started this show. When we started this show, every single show that I can think of has sucked. It has not been entertaining enough for me to want to go back and watch it week after week. Now, like you say, there's a show called Task that's out right now on HBO.
Great show. Great show.
I can't wait for Sundays to come so I can watch that show. Yes. I do not feel that way about a single WWE product.
And Mac, what you're saying, and I always say this, there is still such a thing as must-see TV.
Yes.
Mac said it. I do the same thing. I know Sunday night there is a new episode of Task. I don't want to see it on Monday. I don't want to see it on Tuesday. I'm waiting there for the show to start. That still happens, guys, in 2025. And it goes back to what Vince said. If it's good, they'll watch it.
Yep. JT Prime popping in with the super chat. By the way, you can do the same thing. Just drop us a super chat in here and we'll throw it up on the screen. JT Prime saying, I like Julia because I find her pretty. Yeah, she's not hard on the eyes. That's definitely for sure. I even noticed that Tiffany Stratton, when she was on the show tonight, I guess it's Golden Globes season because that's the first thing that comes to mind when I see her.
Yeah. I had a laugh too, Mac, because maybe it was their third week, but they had those new girls on the show that just came from NXT. And Mac, already there was no lower third. Nope. Mac, can you tell me who they were?
I wrote down NXT talent. That's the only thing I wrote down. NXT talent.
Here's what I wrote down. New girls.
Yep.
New girl. So the third week they're on TV and we're supposed to know no lower third. Bro, you guys are horrible. Yes. Absolutely horrible. I don't know those girls' names, and I just watched the show.
And that's really, really sad because I did make the notes. It just said NXT talent. I don't have a clue who they are. Young Reckless with a $4.99 donation saying, Triple H sucks at creative. Drew was literally a younger him. Drew has his Attitude Era aura. If he can't write for Drew, then he sucks at his job. He's literally him.
If he can't write for Drew, he sucks at his job. Yes, Young Reckless. I agree with that.
And that's been the case for a while, unfortunately. Traffic Jam, the dark days of WWE are coming. I miss Vince. Look, I do miss Vince in the sense that I think there's certain things about the company right now that Vince would not have ever have allowed to happen in the company. But I do think that it was time for Vince to go and somebody else to step in when it came to the creative. I just don't think the answer at this point are the people who are running it right now. I really don't, because the shows, just like we said, is not must-see TV. I mean, how many times have you actually said to yourself, I got to hurry home. I can't wait to see Raw. I can't wait to see SmackDown.
Mac, how long have we been doing this show?
Oh, Lord, I don't know, a year?
Can you name one SmackDown highlight in the last year?
No.
Seriously, like when I tell you that, what comes to mind? What?
Absolutely nothing. The last time I remember anything of SmackDown that had any interest at all for me was when the bloodline first started with Roman. I was interested in that story. It was well written, I thought, in the beginning, but then it got watered down. And since then, it has never caught itself again. It's just been completely off the track since that point. And I think that a lot of people thought that maybe when The Rock came back, oh, things going to get better. The Rock is here. Well, The Rock got there, but then something happened that we don't know about yet. But I'm sure eventually we're going to find out that something did go down. But the creative went to shit, and it's been that way. Vince, there hasn't been a single show since we started that I can tell you one thing about. Not a single thing. And in the old days, if you look at WWE, what people remember most about WWE are the moments. And those moments, like you mentioned a while ago, no longer happen on this show. It's a wrestling match, wrestling match, wrestling match, wrestling match with no story, no need to want to cheer or boo an individual. And that has killed the product.
Absolutely. And I swear I'm challenging somebody in the chat or somebody listening to this show right now to look this up and let me know. Bro, I swear to you, Mac, the last time I popped on a WWE moment, the last time I popped on a WWE moment, I'll never forget it. Bray Wyatt was gone for a while, and they were promoting the return of Bray Wyatt. Okay, yep. So they returned Bray on Raw. Then all of a sudden there was a blackout. Wait a minute, Bray's here already. It was Jericho on top of Bray. Bro, Jericho's been with AEW for 6 years. So I know it was at least 6 years ago. Guys, you can look that up. You can look at when Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho returned to Raw. Mac, I swear to you, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. That was probably 8 years ago.
Probably so.
That was the last thing that freaking popped me on any WWE show.
Have you found anything since the Attitude Era that really excites you at all? I mean, because I don't feel like the writing has ever been the same since then. I think when they went into that they tried to do the kiddie wrestling, where they got the PG-13 and we got away from certain things. That's what killed the momentum of professional wrestling, because you couldn't write those edgy storylines anymore. You had to give us just this fluff crap that we get now.
Mac, let's just be honest. You couldn't write those edgy the stories anymore because Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara were no longer there. Period. End of freaking story.
Is there a fear of people in the back to write stories like that? Do you think they're afraid to try to present?
No, they're not capable.
They don't know how to do
it. They are not capable. They don't know how to do it, man. They don't know how to do it.
Michael, good to see you in here. I also loved and went to the Derby at MSG. Sellout crowds. Unfortunately, it turned into wrestling on skates and folded. Actually, it was the other way around. It was more on wrestling on skates before, and then it turned real, and that's when it folded.
Yeah,
is that right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Tyler is in here as well. Tyler Dunn. Beginning of '99 with WWF. Could you have predicted WCW would have been at the position it was when you were at the end of '99? Will this be the same for WWE?
Well, you got to break that down for me, Matt.
I think what he's saying is, do you think that WWE is going the route of WCW?
Oh no, bro! They've got way too many partners that are overpaying them. Mac, I'm going to tell you something really interesting, and you'll appreciate this because I know you understand business. Mac, when I was consulting for the USA Network without WWE knowing about it, I was working with a head executive on USA Network that was like in charge of the relationship with Raw. His name was Chris McCumber. Okay. Coach and I just brought Chris McCumber on a show.
I saw him the other day. Yeah.
Yeah. And Chris explained to us, and we all knew this, but guys, here's the problem. I'm going to explain to you why this is going to be a problem. Chris explained to us, Mac, back then, okay, it's very inexpensive to produce wrestling. So when Raw was on the USA Network, they were paying a minimal amount of money for a show that was on 52 weeks of the year and very inexpensive to produce. And Chris pointed out, he said, Vince, if you've got original programming, he said, first of all, you're investing millions and millions and millions of dollars in original programming. You don't know if this program's going to be dead in 4 weeks. You don't know if it's going to be dead after 6 episodes. You don't know, compared to wrestling where 52 weeks out of the year, it's very inexpensive to produce. All that is understandable, and I knew all that. Here's the problem now, Mac. Now they're paying billions and billions of dollars. This is not a cheap price tag anymore. So back in the day under Chris McCumber, bro, if that number goes down to $1 million, they're still benefiting from that. They're still making, bro, when that number goes down to $1 million, you ain't making money on that with $1.6 billion invested. We're talking about a totally different financial ball game, Mac.
And when people are asking, when will you see the demise of WWE? Here's where I think the real trick is going to come into play. And that's going to be when they have to renegotiate with Netflix, USA, or any of the partners they have right now. They're going to have to justify the numbers they've been giving them, and they're going to lose money. They're not going to make as much money on the next round if their numbers are down like that. So that's where it will start. That's when you'll start seeing WWE starting to get a little more aggressive and maybe trying to change their creative. But until then, we're going to get the same old shit until the very end of that contract.
And Mac, let's not forget, they've already got a strike against them with Fox. So Fox already bailed out. We paid X amount of dollars. We did not get the return on investment you promised us. So Fox pulled the plug. So now you've got that strike against you. Well, now all of a sudden you want to add a Netflix to that. You want to add an ESPN.
They gave you a C on your first show.
There you go. Now all of a sudden you got 3 big hitters, that are potentially saying, wait a minute, man, we paid X amount of dollars. We didn't get the investment. So like I said, man, a lot of people sweep Fox under the rug. Bro, Fox was promoting these guys 1 million times on every NFL game, bro. The publicity, the promotion, the WWE got on Fox, and they didn't pull in numbers, and Fox said, see you later.
So if you lose Fox, you lose USA, and you lose, let's say, ESPN and Netflix, because none of them are interested if your numbers are still down. Who are you going to go to?
Yeah.
Who are you going to go to that's going to have the kind of money that you've been making over the last contract? Absolutely nobody. I can't imagine anybody out there putting up any more money than what Netflix did to get a program like they're getting now. I don't see it.
Yeah, and they'll always have a home on USA Network because USA Network has nothing else.
But they're not going to get the money they want.
No, they won't. And especially, like I said, my God, bro, I don't care what anybody says. If this week's show is under 1 million viewers, bro, shame on you guys. Like literally shame on you. That is embarrassing.
What do you think it's going to take to make heads roll?
See, bro, here. Can I tell you what it's going to take to make heads roll? It's going to take Rock saying, "I want to get back in the game full time." That's what it's going to take. If Ari Emanuel could get Rock to come on board in a Triple H position tomorrow, Triple H would be gone like this.
And that's not like I haven't heard that rumor since the early days when Triple H took over and Netflix bought into WWE. One of the first things I heard was Triple H won't be around long. Yeah, I mean, he's been there longer than I expected.
Because, Mac, this is how they have them over a barrel. The people that run a TKO, Mark Shapiro, Ari Emanuel, bro, they know nothing about wrestling. Nope. They don't know anything about wrestling. Vince McMahon is no longer there. Somebody's got to be there. Somebody's got to be in that spot. But if there were an alternative, you would see heads roll.
Yeah, I do believe that AEW, now I've watched some of their shows off and on because I don't watch them on a regular basis. But if I'm AEW and I'm Tony Khan, I'm trying to get my shit together real fast and figure out a plan to attack WWE, because right now their stories in WWE are really bad. It's not going to get anybody to come watch their show. So AEW has that opportunity right now to better up that show, make something happen, and make a footprint in a place that WWE does not expect. Whether that's in the 2027, I think that's too far away for AEW to try something, but during WrestleMania in 27, there's a great opportunity for them there. But before then, they've got to do something. They need to come up with something to attack WWE, because we need a company like a WCW. That's what we really need. Well, we need somebody that can come up and make Triple H go, oh shit. We got to pick up.
But see, that's the problem there. as long as you have a Dave Meltzer influencing a Tony Khan, forget about it, bro. You're not going no. If you're still listening to this freaking Yahoo who doesn't have a clue, you ain't going nowhere, bro.
You told me something last week. They had said, what was it? You told me they said there was something that he and Brian had said. It was an excuse. I can't think of what it is now, but it was something you had told me, and I was just floored by it. Going, did they really say that?
Yeah, it's always an excuse for something.
Let's see. Shots Cap-a-Lot. Where was it? Vince, why did you pick the Giants over the Yankees?
Because my dad was a New York Giants fan. That's why.
Oh, well, that's a good reason. Velveeta Cheetah. I like that name. We need Shane McMahon on the podcast.
Yeah, God, I'd love to get Shane McMahon on a podcast.
I bet he'd be a trip on a podcast. God, I bet he's fun to talk to.
Yeah, I would.
Of all the McMahons, really, I think Shane's probably the one you could probably walk up to and have a conversation with the easiest.
Without a doubt. Yep.
All right, let's see. David Duffett, pay the Yanks next year in Canadian dollars. Lovely Doll saying, I stopped watching in 2001 at 10 years old because it started to suck. Even at that age, I knew WWE was dying.
Wow, 10 years old.
Chris, thank you for the $9.99. You didn't leave us a question, though, unfortunately. So why don't you sing him his song there?
Chris, how do I say that?
Pahakis?
Chris Pahakis. Chris. I'll do one. I'll give him one better. I'll give him a bonus. Hold on. Let me give him a bonus, bro. By the way, in celebration of Tony Khan's birthday today.
Oh, that's right. Happy birthday, Tony.
Happy birthday.
I know you're watching.
Yeah, let's play this in celebration of Tony's birthday. Here we go. One of my favorite promos of all time.
That was absolute crap. I never wanted to be in this position. I never wanted to be here, but you made a promise. You already went back in a gentleman's agreement once. You made a promise to him. You said you were going to give him a match. That was BS. He had just gone through 2 matches, and you can't even promise people matches. I make the matches, and I'm going to tell you right now, Kenny, 9 days from tonight, you got time to get ready, man. 9 days from tonight, you have to wrestle in 9 days from tonight on Dynamite, live on Dynamite, live on Dynamite. You have to wrestle in him. If you win, if you beat him, you get a shot at the title.
I'm not doing it.
It's too late.
I'm not doing it.
Then you shouldn't have said it.
That's where the magic started. That's where it all started.
Ooh, man, yeah, he's so good on the microphone. Traffic Jam, Triple H and DX is the king of politics. Problems.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they definitely are working the pants off of TKO. I mean, there's no question, no doubt about that. That's why Triple H puts himself all over everything, because he's trying to put himself in a position where, he's cemented in, and, Ari Emanuel, he's bulletproof. That's why he puts himself all over everything. There's a strategy to why Triple H does what he does.
He wants to be, what's the guy's name in UFC?
Yeah, Dana White.
Dana White. He wants to be another Dana White. Unfortunately, Dana White doesn't have to try to come up with creative ideas and stories. You do, Triple H, and that's the problem. Let's see. Shots Capalot. Bro, what would Paul say in court? He isn't fat? Yeah, okay, I got you. He's talking about, we were talking about Paul Heyman earlier today. And look here, as always, before we get near the end of the show, Roland Curtis off Vermont Avenue, $10 donation. Wait. So all of my super chats, and they still weren't enough to keep WrestleBinge from going into the red? Wow. Well, in the words of Mark Calloway, WrestleBinge, rest in peace.
And there were a lot of super chats from Roland. A lot. Roland, thank you very much.
We can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and watching us, especially when we first started the show, because you didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't either. And it's just turned out to be a really good show.
And guys, just for the record, just so you know, since we've only got a couple of weeks left of WrestleBinge, all your super chats, just so you know, not a penny went to Mac or I. Nope. It all went to Sportskeeda. Just so you guys know. You know.
Yeah. We didn't get a nickel of that, but of course we did get paid pretty well for doing the show, so that's okay. I don't mind too much. Triple H and let's go. I'm getting somewhere else here. Hold on. I want to make sure we get here. Where is it? There we go. Velio. Is that how you say that? Velio 13.
Velio.
Triple H and nepotism. Road Dogg is an awful writer. I love Road Dogg. Brian James. He's a great guy, but
great entertainer. Great entertainer. Absolutely.
But the shows, I'm sorry, they're just not working. Aaron, Tulsa King season 3 fell off hard. Thoughts?
Wow.
Vince, have you watched that?
Yeah, Aaron, I've not seen season 3 yet, though. So I'm very interested in what you're saying. I have not seen the 3rd season yet.
No, I've watched the 1st season, and then it was on, it's on Paramount. I used to watch it on the airplane. That's how I got to watch the shows. Yeah. But then they went into Paramount, where that's where they were originally, and I don't have that service. I don't get that one, so I don't get to see it like I like. But I'm kind of glad to know if it's falling off, I'm not missing anything. Rowan Curtis also with another $10. That's $20 right there. $20 right away. Cody's promo, and I quote, "As much as I want to be a leader, this team that WWE has assembled is the greatest team it's ever assembled." WWE delusionally thinks that this is better than the Attitude Era, and it is nowhere even close to what we got in the Attitude Era.
There's no way they could think that. I mean, come on, Mac. There's no way in the world they could.
Can I tell you something? I've enjoyed tonight not having to go over the damn show.
Absolutely,
I don't even know why I watched the damn show.
Downer. It brings us down talking about it. We're down watching it. We're down talking about it. It's Mac. It's depressing. When I'm sitting there watching this show, I am depressed because I'm watching the show.
And I know there are people who watch, because there's some people that I know personally who always say, "Oh, you and Vince are always just so mean about the product." We're really not. What we try to do, and I know, Vince, I've said this before, because a lot of people give you shit about what you say. And the bottom line is this: even though we may say things that seem kind of funny at times, or we're poking fun, that's exactly what we're doing. Because in the end of the day, it's really criticism about the product. We want to see it get better. And the only way to do that is to be brutally honest about how that product looks today. And today, the product sucks.
But the problem is, Mac, here's the problem. They don't want to hear from people like us. They want to hear from their mark crowd that's singing along, that's paying $12,000 for tickets. That's who they want to hear from. They don't want to hear from people that don't watch the show and don't enjoy the show, and people that used to. Why? That's who you want to hear from. The people that used to watch the show and stopped watching it. Why did you stop watching it? That's their most valuable person. That's who you want to hear from. I swear to God, Mac, when my Russo's brand, when I see somebody leaves the brand, I will always email them. Tell me why. Is there something else we did wrong? Is there something else we could do better? And, 99% of the time I'll get its finances, and I understand that, but I will always do that. Is there something we could have done better?
I'm the same way in the business that I have. I do a message on hold for a lot of companies across the United States and in Canada. And a lot of times, just like you say, if I lose a subscriber to the service, then I ask all the time, is it something we did? Is there something we can do better? That's what you want to hear. As an owner of a company, you don't want people to come up to you and go, "Oh man, it's the best. It's just the best thing in the world." I want to hear what's wrong, because that gives me something to work on. If you tell me everything is great, then what am I working on? I'm just assuming you're telling me the truth. When I know, though, in reality, I need to hear the negative. I know there's negative. There's negative in every business, and every owner wants to know what is the negative so I can fix it.
Yep, absolutely. Yes.
And that's not, though, the case in WWE, because if it were, we wouldn't see certain people still in position. Vince, we're out of time. I didn't realize it's actually after 11 o'clock, man. So,
oh, my God.
We went way over time. Guys, we appreciate you popping in here. We got a bunch of you in the room right now, too. So thank you very much for coming into the show. Like Vince said, we are going to be ending this show in another couple of weeks. So you got a couple more weeks you can join in and have fun with us.
We got to figure out something we could do, Matt. We guys, if me and Mac do something together, okay, I am telling you right now, we're not sitting through Raw. We're not sitting through SmackDown, and we're not reviewing any of their shit. If we do something hot topic-ish or Mac, something that happens during the week that you're interested in, like I would have loved tonight to talk about stuff that Chris McCumber said, because the one question I asked you, this is a network executive. I said, Chris, I hear over and over and over again, ratings don't matter anymore. Ratings don't matter anymore. I said, Chris, from a network perspective, do ratings not matter? Mac, he laughed out loud. So I would have loved to talk about that. I mean, there are things. I love the business of the business. I could talk about the business of the business all day long, but wasting my time on a Friday night and a Monday night, bro, it's over. It's over.
Yeah, I think that a wrestling headline type of show is the best thing to do because it gives you a lot more room to work with. Too many times, even in SmackDown shows that we've reviewed, we've talked about a lot of other things other than SmackDown because there wasn't anything to talk about. Right. So if we do a new show, yeah, I agree. I think it needs to be a show that talks about wrestling headlines, things that are hot in the news at that moment. And I think that, guys, if you'll stick with us and keep listening to my social media as well as Vince Russo's social media, keep your ear out. You'll find out where we may pop up next. But Vince, like I say, I've enjoyed every bit of this, and I'm looking forward to the next 2 weeks. Guys, if you want to see a show that's going to be a little unhinged for the next couple of weeks, I got a feeling you need to make sure you come back here and see us every Friday night for the next 2 weeks.
I just want to say one thing perfectly clear, because like Max said, a lot of people, you're too negative, you're this or that. Here's what I've always said. I've said this from day one. If I was not getting paid to watch this show, I would not be watching it. And guess what? After 2 more shows, we're not going to be getting paid to watch the show. And guess what? We won't be watching it. Just like we said. We've been saying that all along, Mac and myself.
Yes. All right, guys, I know we got a few more of you popping in here, so I'm going to get them up here real fast, and then we got to get out of here. But traffic jam in America. Who's watching Crown Jewel at 8 o'clock in the morning? Not me. I'll be sleeping.
I even think, isn't Raw on at 8 o'clock in the morning or something on Monday?
Yep. On Monday, it'll be on 8 o'clock in the morning, too. Okay. Shots Capalot, would you review Ruthless Aggression on the brand?
No.
Well, you weren't really even there during that time, were you?
No, a lot of people, because I didn't watch any of Ruthless Aggression because I was too busy working. Why do I want to watch that, guys? I can't stand it. They've made me hate wrestling. They've literally made me hate wrestling. Why would I go back and watch that?
RRT 2001, what's your advice on becoming a writer or author?
Great question, bro. And I tell everybody this all the time. You've got to write every single day, bro. That's the only way you're going to get good at it. I tell this story all the time, Mac. Freaking Jerry Seinfeld, who's worth God knows how many millions of dollars. He's got a big board on a wall in his house every day of the year, 365 days. Every single day, Jerry Seinfeld writes a new joke on that board. That's commitment. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep, yes. That's commitment right there.
Yes.
Scotty, Undertaker hit Steve Austin in the head with the shovel. Remember that, Vince? I missed your creative, my man. My brothers and I jumped off of our couch.
Mac, I had to crack up, and I know we're going a little overtime, but Mac, this week on my Attitude Era show, I was reviewing the Higher Power episode. So, Mac, as I'm watching this, I take a picture of my screen when Vince takes the hood off and he's got that ridiculous look on his face. Yeah, exactly. And here's all that I said. Whatever happened to storytelling in wrestling? That's all I said. So, Mac, I start getting hundreds of text messages about how terrible that angle was. And I'm like, wait a minute, let me get this straight. We're talking about an angle from 26 years ago. So this angle was so bad that you remember it 2.5 decades. Are you going to remember anything from this show tomorrow?
No.
Tomorrow, let alone 25 years from now.
No, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier. At one time, we got a show that consisted of moments that people would remember. Those moments no longer live in the WWE. It's a segment, it's a match, that's it. There's nothing else really that's put into the mix to make you want to watch the show. Like I said last week, I miss the days of watching the Corvette fill up with concrete and the windows bursting out from the concrete. Those things like that give me something different to watch that's not in the ring and it's not in the back in the hallway with Nick Aldis, and that's basically all we ever get anymore. David Duffett, this will be our last one tonight. David Duffett, do reviews of The Golden Bachelor. Vince, I've enjoyed it, my friend. I will see you again next week on next Friday, man.
Bro, you and I aired it out, Mac. Thank you.
Yeah, man. I can't wait the next week. I'm going to tell you straight up right now, unless there's something really good on next week's show, I'm not even going to make notes. I'm not making notes. I'm just going to write down the only thing that catches my eye, and it's going to be a blank piece of paper when it's over with.
We're down to this, bro. This is what we're talking. This is 2 hours of a show, bro.
Oh, yeah. Sad, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, Vince, I'm out of here. I'm Mac Davis. That is Vince Russo, and this is BroDown. We'll see you again next Friday night, same time, same place. And I'm not going to be saying that it's going to be a safe show. Could be a lot of fun. Stick around with us next week. We'll see you then.